5. Yes. Hi. Great. Uh, so, am I guys audible and visible? Just can anyone confirm?
Yes, yes, yeah, you're visible and audible.
Yes, yes. Thank you. So, hi guys. Good evening. I'm Naman Mathur. I'm currently the convener of CEV, and we are here with Wisdom Week 2021 Lumières 2.0. Sir is going to join us in 2 minutes. So, just calling your friends. Just forward this link to your groups. It will be going to be a great talk, one of the favorite talks, I think so, because of the nature of the talk. He's going to discuss sports, so of course, we all like it. And Shiva sir is in, we will be introducing him shortly. Of course, you guys might have seen his profile. So I'm going to start at 6, so please call everyone. Sir is going to join us soon. We are also streaming on YouTube, so you could also send the YouTube link if someone can't join the Gmeet. We will be interacting with them as well. It's going to be a short session, not a long like uh, the last week we had. Just going to be 30-40 minute session from sir, and we will have an interactive session following that. Welcome everyone. Has sir joined us? Sorry. I hope everyone of you are safe and sound at their homes. Uh, Pretty hard situation out there. 3 lakh cases and growing. Let's see where we go. Just want to wait for sir for a few minutes. Then going to start a procedure. Calling your friends. Still waiting for sir. Yeah, I think so. We have Upla sir with us. If I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes, Naman, I am here.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Welcome, Kishore sir. I'm Naman Mathur, as currently convener of CEV. Welcome, sir, to Wisdom Week 2021 Lumières 2.0. Thank you so
Okay.
much for joining with us.
Thank you, thank you.
We're going to start in few minutes. Shiva sir will be joining us. A few things I would like to share about Shiva sir before we talk. Uh, I don't know if you guys have seen his LinkedIn profile or anything. He has been in this field. Oh, Shiva sir is here. Welcome. Hello, sir. Good evening. Sir, mute actually.
Good evening. Good
Hi, good
evening,
evening,
Naman.
sir. How is sir?
Oh, good, very good, very good. Can you see me?
Yes, yes, sir. Uh,
Okay,
you're completely audible as well. So,
good.
just want to start formally. So, we are here. It is one of the most anticipated events of the year, Lumières 2.0, or popularly known as Wisdom Week. So, thank you so much, first of all, everyone, especially sir, for joining in this hard time. And I hope everyone and your loved ones are safe and sound. Understand this country is going through a very hard time with COVID cases reaching over 3 lakh today, and situation is worsening. But remember, we can all solve this problem together by staying at home, not going out unnecessarily, masking up whenever required. So yeah, but we understand the learning should never stop, and we at CB are here to ensure that it doesn't stop, and we bring to you Lumiris 2.0. Where across the week we bring to you professionals from different backgrounds and different career paths to come and share their journey and experience and their real life scenarios and opportunities at your home screen. Because today is what we call a blockbuster start to this event that we have Mr. Shiva Balakrishnan sir with us. I'm sure you must have seen his profile and you must know him. He has an experience of over 35 years in this field and has immense knowledge of retail industry and IT industry. Not only this, he specializes in the products and services in the world of IT as well. He is a mentor and a guru to many, and I've heard a lot about him. And I especially thank you because I just mailed him a few days ago, and he at once agreed. He understands the situation at once, and I'm so happy he's with us, dear sir. And I'm very happy to interact with him, and I'm sure you guys must be happy as well. The people joining us on the Google Meet and the people joining us at our YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you so much. Of course, it's a virtual welcome, sir. But
Thank you.
it's a virtual welcome to you. But of course, it would have been much sweeter if we have called you up on the stage at a seminar hall at back in SUNIT. But we understand the current pandemic, and nevertheless, we would have an excellent session signed up with you. And I would recommend everyone to turn on the camera so that you can interact with sir, and sir could take on from here. So Shiva sir,
Great. Thank you. Thanks,
thank you,
Naman.
sir.
Good evening, everyone. Let me set the stage. How many students we have in the forum, Naman?
So we have around 60 plus joining in here, and we have
Awesome.
some on YouTube as well. So we have around
Okay,
100
awesome,
people.
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Again, thanks a lot. Good evening, everyone. Hope all of you are safe. Okay. Before I start my monologue, let me say how I want to do it. Okay. Maybe I will use 15-20 minutes using the presentation, and obviously I'll talk over it. I'm not going to read through the slide. And then last 10 minutes, I'll keep it open for questions and answers. Okay. So before I start, where is the right hand present? Okay, there's the present.
You can
Let
just
me tell you, a couple of things. I have special connection with NIT. Okay, both my sons. First one graduated from NIT Trichy couple year before last, and my second one is studying in NIT Trichy, first year. So I have special connection, and also used to be an adjunct professor or adjunct lecturer at NIT Trichy in the School of Management, or the DOMS school. So I have known NIT very well. Okay, so that's one of the main reasons. When Naman asked me, I said, hey, yes, I'll do this. Okay, okay. So having said that, let me start with the agenda for the day. Window. Can you see my screen presentation?
Not yet, sir. So.
Not yet. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Present now. Here in the screen, let me see this. Now, can you see it?
No, sir, actually
can you
not.
See my presentation?
Not really. Present now, your entire screen is not happening. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
I'm trying.
that is here. It's here now.
No. Okay, okay. So I don't have many slides. Okay, as I said, I'm going to quickly walk you guys through what is analytics in sports industry is all about. Even though I have spent almost 18-20 years in the US working in retail and CPG area, me being a cricketer myself and in my college days, I was automatically attracted to sports industry. And 2016, I joined sports mechanics. I was a COO, and now I'm a special, or I would say the management consultant, and also taking care of the delivery. And we work with some of the leading sports bodies in the industry. BCCA, which is in cricket board in India, Indian hockey, squash in India, and the West Indies cricket board, Sri Lankan control cricket board, ACC, Asian Cricket Control, ICC, and few other boards that we work with. Mainly, we work in the sports industry with trying to work with all key four stakeholders. Okay, so before I come to the stakeholders, why is the analytics? The focus is analytics. Am I right? Why is analytics important in the sports industry? I'm not going to read through this slide. You guys can see it. Okay, I'm going to just talk over. Okay, there are three main reasons. Okay, you need to stay competitive. This day and age, it's all electronics technology. People use all cutting edge technologies to stay competitive. Whether it is cricket, hockey, or racket sports like tennis, squash, or whatever it is, or even athletics. Okay, so people are using technology to the greater detail to stay highly competitive. That is from overall perspective. The second, the team, how we are going to form the team. Okay, the entire team needs to be continuously monitored, analyzed. Am I having the best team to have the winning combination? And then the team is made up of individuals. Okay, I mean, if you see, I don't know how many of you have been following cricket since 90s. Okay, if you've seen rather Tendulkar, Dravid, Ganguly, or any of these, brilliant players. Okay, I work with them, brilliant players. Okay, nothing, you can take away from those guys, but they never had any strict workout regime that the current set of players have. Okay, if you look at Virat Kohli or Muhammad Shami or all the Shubham Gill, the younger generation, so these guys spend almost like 4 or 5 hours in the gym on everyday basis to stay fit, and also they take care of the diet and etc. etc. So now it is becoming, I won't say more robotic. It's becoming highly competitive. For you to stay competitive, you need to do all this. Okay. So next slide. I'm sure you've seen all these things. What happened in the whole sporting industry, how it evolved. There are a few milestones that easily you can identify. Okay, when was hockey, for example, introduced in first time in Wimbledon in 2007? etc., etc. Am I right? So it evolved over a period of time. Okay, so we at Sports Mechanics started in 2006. We started with video analysis, not analytics. I'm sure all of you know the difference between analysis and analytics. So video analysis in 2006. Even then, I mean 2006 or 2004, it was a big change compared to what people are doing using blackboards or whiteboards or paper and pencil strategy. That's what people used to do, even in the US. When I was there, when people, I mean, whether the MLS or NFL, that is football or Major League Baseball or ice hockey, basketball, all these are the major four sports, am I right? All these, I mean, sports were using the traditional methods, paper and pencil, whiteboard, blackboard, blah, 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 okay? But the technology turned. I mean, I'm sure, I mean, before I go to the next slide, any one of you have seen the brilliant strategist at the Oakland A's who changed the entire team composition. I mean, do you know the movie and you know the team?
Moneyball, I think.
Exactly, you're bang on target. Okay, the Moneyball is a one. I mean, if you've not seen it, you should see it. Okay, the Moneyball is, I mean, the Oakland is GM Michael Bean, and then there's a book called by, I mean, Michael Lewis. I mean, you can read that book. That's when it started. Actually, people started, I mean, really seeing the effect of data. Okay, the data, I mean, again, as Mukesh Ambani said, is going to be the next oil. Am I right? So having just the data is not going to help you in any way. You should know how to use the data. What are the tools that you are going to use to make sense out of the data? Okay, a lot of things that you can do. And again, I put them here. I don't want to go into the details of all these things. How else? I mean, you guys think, I mean, can data be used? What are the different ways the data can be used? I mean, for example, I collect. We work very closely with BCCI, am I right? We know when a player is injured, how long it took for him to recover, what kind of injury is this, how serious was it, whether he was ill, how long he was ill, and when did he go back to NCA, which is National Cricket Academy in Bangalore, to retrain and come back to the mainstream. So all these things, am I right? You have the data over a period of time, different set of data that you have. If you are able to apply analytics, okay, I'm not saying analysis, analytics, okay, you should be able to predict when the player is going to break down, okay, when the player would need rest. So that's when, I mean, if you look at the teams like England, Australia specifically, not only in cricket, even in hockey, they brought in the rotation strategy long ago, okay, because they are able to do all this prediction. If you look at them until 2014-15, Australia and England had major advantage in terms of technology, using technology in sports. Okay, now India is catching up big time. Okay, that's one of the main reason is the people like you guys, okay, coming from IITs and NITs are able to churn data and provide analytics. Okay, and which is, I mean, really, really helpful. When again, first our company started by a person called Ramakrishnan, okay, Subramanian Ramakrishnan. He was the first Indian video analyst. He traveled with the team. Even now, I mean, our guy traveled with the team, and also we work with multiple IPL teams. So when he was showing Tendulkar, okay, in 2004, showing the laptop, this is what you have done, this is these are the things you can correct, blah blah blah. He literally didn't pay any attention to it. Hey, who are you to come and tell me? I'm the master, I'm the genius, okay? I know what to do, okay? But slowly it started, I mean, getting into a system. Then he started realizing the importance of it, okay? How the whole data can, not only data, even the video. Now, I'll come to the video part of it later, okay? How the data and video combination can help to track players' technique, or how to improve or how to prepare themselves under different conditions, again, different set of bowlers, etc., etc. So the data can play a huge role. Okay. Before I go to the next slide, I mean, there are four major stakeholders in the sports industry. Okay. I think I have another 5 to 10 minutes before I shut up and ask you guys to ask questions. So let me try to get it done in the next 5 to 10 minutes. There are major 4 stakeholders in the sports industry. Who are the major 4 stakeholders? One is administrators like BCCI, players, and then the boards, different cricket boards, and the state associations, etc. That's stakeholder number 1. Okay. Stakeholder number 2 are the broadcasters, am I right? The TV guys who are bringing the sport to your home. And the third one, the key guys, the media, brands, and then the sponsors. Okay, so they are the ones who are giving money to the board, in turn getting the rights from the broadcasters to show the matches on the TV. Okay, and the fourth one are the fans, of course, us. Okay, so who are also paying money to go and watch the games in the stadium, or pay money to watch stadiums in TV or mobile or whatever it is. Okay, so these are like the 4 major stakeholders in any sports industry, not only in cricket. So any sports industry across the world, if you can look at it. Okay, so how they can make money out of it, and how analytics or the data is going to be really helpful for them to maximize the return on investment. Okay, again, I'm not going to get into all the details because that in itself will take a few hours to discuss. So let me just touch upon in 1 or 2 words. Okay, for teams, players, and tournaments, how you can predict what's going to happen, who can win, under what circumstances, what kind of pitches they're going to prepare. For example, if you guys are following IPL, in Chennai, they have 8 pitches, okay, or wickets, or however you call, whatever you call it. A couple of them are red, and few of them are white in color. The red will be slow, the white will be, sometimes it'll be full of clay, some will have grass on it. So you need to know how the wickets are going to behave, okay, and then you're going to see who your opposition is. Then you're going to pick your team. Okay, so just an example. We are scratching the surface here. The broadcasters, obviously, how I can get most out of my return, what time slot I'm going to give to advertisers, and how much I'm going to charge, what type of game, prime time, non-prime time, weekends, weekdays, etc., etc. All this analytics can be done. Sponsors, how many eyeball they're going to see my email logos on the screen. So what's going to be how my sales is going to increase over a period of time because of these eyeballs. Of course, fans, you're the one who basically is pumping in money to all this in the ecosystem. Am I right? You not only buy tickets based on the advertisement, you buy merchandise, you buy food, blah blah blah. So you're the one who's who are pumping money into the whole system. And what kind of people are spending, and I would say segment. Rural, urban, age group, men, women, boy, girl, what kind of merchandise that you're buying, or what kind of food that you're buying when you're watching, not watching. So I completely profile you, okay? And then I will send a targeted, advertisements, etc., etc. Okay, so that's where the entire ecosystem, the sports industry is all about. Okay, so this is where the analytics is very, very helpful. Okay. Let me go to the next slide. I'm sure most of you will be looking forward to. Unfortunately, I don't have any of my analysts with me here to explain how they work with the team. All of them are at the IPL team today. So I have to do this. Otherwise, I would have asked one of them. They work very closely, and not very closely. They work with, the players in the dugout. They sit in the dugouts, and then they give, pre-game analytics strategy, during the game analytics and strategy, and post-game analytics and strategy. They do everything. Okay. For example, I'll take few of the examples here. Okay. I split it into 2 parts: team performance improvement and the player performance improvement. I'm using cricket as an example here, which is applicable to any other sport, whether it is hockey or field hockey I'm talking about, or squash. Or squash is one-to-one. It's not really a team game. Even tennis, for that matter, it is a one-to-one or doubles. It's not really a team game, but the strategy will still help you. Okay, so if you look at the real team game, hockey, India, cricket and soccer, football. And then similarly, if you look at in the US, which is very, very advanced, they use it for American football, baseball, basketball, and also ice hockey. Okay, so what are the different ways? You can do the team strategy. How are you going to get the whole thing ready? Okay, so even before you start this, for example, let's talk about IPL. Okay, I'm sure you all are following IPL. Am I right? So when I form the team, I have a budget. I mean, BCCA as of last year gave me the budget of 87 crores that I can spend on the player. That's a max I can spend on players. Okay, and then I have multiple restriction. I can have only 8, I think, foreign players in my team, and then I need to have 2 or 3 under 19 players in team. I should minimum have 18 players in my team, and I cannot have more than 26 players in my team, etc., etc. The multiple rules set by BCCA for IPL teams. So we have created an algorithm, okay, using which you can come up with multiple models, okay, whether you want to, I mean, if there are 2 types of, I mean, auctions that you know. One is the full auction, another is, I mean, minor auction. Okay, full auction happens every 4 years. That means the entire team is dismantled, okay, and then when you need to form the team from scratch, okay. Whereas mini auction is what it's happening for last 3 years. The entire team is not dismantled. You can release players and take players from the pool of available players. Okay, so that's what it is. So you have to do a lot of analytics. Okay, what your team composition is going to be about, and what's the right combination for me under different circumstances. So this is where analytics plays a major role. This is applicable only for, I mean, IPL, not for BCCA, because BCCA is, I mean, they play bilateral, triangular, or whatever it is, series. So that is completely a different ball game. Those are the ICC events. IPL is also in an international event like CPL, Big Bash League. The CPL is a Caribbean Premier League, Sri Lankan Premier League, etc., etc. There are multiple, I mean, private leagues are out there, Premier Leagues are out there. So all these, I mean, teams do the same thing. Okay, so I can do head-to-head analysis. Okay, before a tournament starts, what are the, I mean, teams I'm going to play with? How many times I played with this team? Where are the places I have played? How did, I mean, what did I do? Okay, under what pitch? I mean, how many times I beat them batting first, batting second? Whether it is a grassy wicket, clay wicket, or it's a ball wicket, blah blah blah. So we have all kinds of analysis. Okay, so based on that, I team, overall team in place. Okay, so before the match, what we will do typically, I'm just giving an example. There's a lot more to it. Absolutely, a lot more to it. I mean, what I'm talking about is less than 1 or 2% that we do with the teams. Typically, I mean, do with the teams. So you need to, first thing that you need to do is playing level selection. How am I going to do my playing level? So there are multiple factors. As I said, again, the wicket and the opponent that I'm going to play against, weather condition, okay, and fitness of my players, and they're in form, whether they are in form, etc., etc. There are again so many other strategies that I mean, factors that you look into and for pick the playing level. It's not that we do it; we help with the coaches and the team captain, and we recommend, or I won't even say recommend. We come up with a strategy to select them in playing level. Okay, and then we also give clear roles what each player is going to be doing in the game. Okay, and then toss strategy after winning the toss, whether you're going to choose to bat or bowl, blah blah blah. Again, there are so many other factors that you can treat. Again, the bottom one, game analytics. When the game starts, batting first, what you would do, bowling first, what you would do. Similarly, batting second, what you would do, bowling second, what you would do. Again, it is highly, highly analytical. Maybe if you guys are sitting watching at home or in the college, what these guys are doing, are they randomly changing things in the dugout? No. There is an analyst for every team. He crunches data on real-time basis, and he provides input to the captain and the coaches what to do. Okay, that's what's happening today. So that's the role of analyst. I would say the sports analyst, which is really becoming popular in India, and it's there in the Western world for the longest time. The final slide. Okay, I think 2 minutes. Player performance, as I told you before, the players, at the end of the day, make the difference. Am I right? Whether they're going to win or lose the game for the team. Okay, so they need to work as a team to make sure they have a winning combination. Okay, so they need to constantly look at their shortfalls. They have to go back, look at their videos. Where are the places they are not strong, what are the strong areas and how they can improve on those strong areas. And then, for example, my stance is not correct, my foot movement is not correct, My bat is, I mean, coming from first slip, or is it coming from wicket keeper? And the angle of the bat that I'm bringing down, or what angle I'm bringing down. So, and follow through when I mean make the shot. All these things, I mean, you go to the minute level of details using statistics. I mean, you actually calculate the degrees at which it. I mean, they bring all the bat is coming down, and the wrist, I mean, position in the bat. I mean, not put all the things. I mean, that there's so much that you do the analytics when it comes to the bat. Similarly, bowling is very, I mean, skill based effort. For example, a pace bowler, your run up is very important. You need a smooth run up. Landing on the crease is important. Hand and leg coordination. If you're right arm bowler, how your left leg and left arm are going up and down. You synchronize what high, what low, and ball position on your fingers, etc. Okay, so every step, I mean, everything is analyzed. There are multiple tools that we use. Again, I put some of them. We use, I mean, extensively we use artificial intelligence, okay, to provide the intelligence of, you know, how things are, I mean, shaping up. And then we use, again, as I said, for auction and other things, we use LP, IP, integer programming. If you, one of many of you are in production, done statistics, I'm sure you would know what I'm talking about. And then pitch map, Hawkeye, I'm sure all of you know, I'm sure you've seen the Hawkeye, the ball tracking system. So these are some of the tools that we use in providing analysis and analytics to the team and the players. Again, as I said, short time, I gave you maybe 1 million feet high of the overview of what analytics is in the sports industry. You can dig deep more and more, okay? But this is overall at the sports industry. Any questions, guys? I'll open it up again. The next slide I have, don't look at the left side. I mean, look at these all the multiple areas you can do in the sports analytics. There's a lot more you can do, okay? It's a huge area by in itself. It is, I mean, becoming, I would say, an industry by in itself, not only just for the players, and I would say the coaches and the referees, not referees, the officials, but it is becoming more and more, I would say, an industry by in itself to provide opportunities or employment to multiple people. Okay, but it will evolve. I'm sure it will evolve. So this is what it's going to go through a major revolution. All right, this is what it is. I'm opening it up for any questions, guys.
Yeah, sir. Thank you so much for that. Something which I didn't know personally. I'm a cricket fan as well, but the analytics deep as we go deep into it. We as engineers look forward to this. Actually, we always think about this, but we never get across. We never get exposure to this. Basically, one thing I wanted to ask that many people asked when we rolled out the registration as well, that what is the opportunity? What's the opportunity for the engineers who are budding engineers right now? Like, how could they approach this career if they want to take up in the future?
Okay, see, whether, I mean, you're a player, that's a different story. Okay, if you want to be a cricket player, then that's a different story altogether. But if you want to be in the analytics side, that's a different, I mean, ball game altogether. Okay, for example, I don't know how much of you know, Reliance is investing tons and tons of money in sports. They have something called Reliance or Foundation Youth Sports. Am I right? So they are rolling out, I mean, grassroots level training program and also conducting tournaments across the country for all age group, as young as I think, I mean, 8 or 9, okay, going all the way from 8 and 9 up to 21. Okay, they're not getting into an official league, but they are doing a grassroots level, working with all the schools and the colleges, major institution is open up. They're opening it up for all the institutions across the industry. Okay, so there are a lot of opportunities coming up. That's I'm talking about grassroots level. But if you want to be at the professional level, okay, like I mean, IPL, the BCCA, Indian hockey, it's a different ball game. You need to go through the grind. Okay, working with them in companies like Sports Mechanics, how to collect the data, what to look for, how to make sense out of the data. So you need to go through the grind, understand the game. Okay, so all these things, I mean, there is a difference between you guys sitting outside and enjoying the game and getting in and working with the data and talking to the player. That's a different ballgame, completely different thing to do. Okay, so every word that you say should make sense. Okay, you cannot have any loose words. So you need to be completely in control of the game. Whether ideally you should have played to a certain level. Okay, if not for school, colleges, maybe division, local leagues, you should have played to understand the nuances of the game and how it can be improved over a period of time. Okay, so if you have that, yes, that is a path that you can take. Okay, any other questions, guys?
I had one question. So how do these players pursue this analytics? Because they have been playing for many years and practicing every day. And if some analyst goes to them and says that your stance is not perfect, you can change your stance. How the player perceives it?
Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, there are two things I want to address in your question. One, very good question, okay, excellent question. So, as I told you before, till I would say 2008, 2009, none of even any of the Indian players, I would say, were paying attention to the analytics or even paying attention to the computer. Okay, so finally, Rahul Dravid and Tendulkar, okay, and Ganguly to greatest extent, okay, recognized the effort of sports mechanics. Again, as I said, our boss Ramkrishnan, who was traveling with the team, constantly showing different things to the players. And they realize, okay, hey, these things are going to create a major difference in the game. Now, if you look at the players, okay, every player in all IPL players, all the Indian players, they have iPhone on their hand, and even during the game, we again provide the clipping. Okay, every ball we have real-time clipping. Okay, what the bowler is doing, what the batsman is doing, etc., etc. So they'll be able to correct it. They are into the technology big time. Every player. So that is one. It has been received very well. Okay, number one. Number two, in second part of the question, you should never, as an analyst, you should never go and tell anyone your stance is not correct. You can never say that. Okay. The reason is, I wouldn't say ego. Okay. Give it to them. They are at this level, IPL level, national level. Okay. They have done something right to come to this level. Am I right? So you will never go and tell them, hey, your stance is wrong. Okay. But you can go and show them, hey, this is what I think. Okay. This is what I've noticed. You want to take a look at it. Okay, and then they'll take a look at it. Obviously, all these players, young players, all the way from Shubham Gill or Washington Sundar or Punt or any of these guys, all these guys are very, very receptive to the technology ideas and they want to keep improving themselves. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
So I have one of the question like if you see Anil Kumble has partnered with Microsoft to get the Spectacom, if you have heard of it. So do we have that kind of analytics here as well?
Yeah. See, analytics again, okay. There are, what we saw today is just we scratched the surface, as I told you, okay. And we use even biometrics, 3D analytics, okay. So we use motion sensors, okay. So how, for example, if you have a wrong bowling stride and landing, okay, you can get your hip damage very soon, okay, or your leg, knees, or ankle will go for a toss, okay. Now we are able to correct all these things very early stages before it was not available, okay. So that's what they are trying to do in NCA. That's what Anil Kumble is doing, and he's doing a lot more than that. So we combine all this 3D. We don't do VR. VR is more like I would say. You don't you can experience it, but you don't actually involve in doing the things. It's more imaginary. But we do 3D analysis with all the sensors in your body, and we work with some of these players to correct them.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
First of all, thanks for the amazing talk. And I have a question like, who has the authority of the large amount of data? And Like if we used to analyze the data of the opponent also.
Okay. Let me make sure I get your question right. Who is the owner of the data? That's what your question is.
Yeah, like everyone might be having like the channel who is broadcasting and the BCCI also.
Okay. So you need to understand one thing about data. Okay. There are two types of data. One is factor data, which is publicly available. Anybody can, go capture it. You can get it from Cricinfo or Cricket Next or where there are so many places you can get, scrape and get the character data, ball by ball data or scorecard level data. You can get all the data. Okay. And then it's up to you what kind of analytics that you want to do. BCCA is not the owner of the character data. Anybody can have it. That's their publicly available information.
Okay.
But when it comes to the video data, it is owned by the association or the board which is conducting the tournament. For example, all the IPL data or any international match that is happening in India is owned by BCCI. You cannot, use any of the video footage without BCCI's permission. Okay, I'll give you a simple example. Okay, Bangladesh wanted to buy Dhoni's footage for one of their advertisements in Bangladesh. Okay, it's a 10-second footage from 2011, I think, World Cup winning. Okay, can you imagine how much did them in Bangladesh pay for it? 10 seconds.
Million?
$10 million. Okay. Okay. So that's the value of the video footage. Again, obviously, IPL and the World Cup and all these are highly, pricey data. Even if Tamil Nadu Cricket Association is conducting, TNPL or Mumbai, Delhi is doing something like that. All these things are owned by the state association. Similarly, if you go and play in, let's say, Australian Cricket Control board will own the data. Okay, broadcasters don't own the data; they will own the data only for period of time. And now there are two types. Okay, obviously you have television data and you have a digital data. Am I right? So you can get a television rights and also digital rights. That's a topic by in itself. We can go deep into it. But there are two parts to it. Digital is becoming more popular for obvious reasons.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, sir. I have a question.
Go ahead.
So you said that the data is so valuable. So how do you keep it secured from and away from any kind of breach? Your data and the findings.
Oh man, you guys need to tell me that. You guys are the engineers, am I right? You're asking me that question. So obviously, data is crucial. The raw data, everyone can get it. And what you may, the sense you make out of it using the tools that you talked about, that is what is precious. Am I right? Obviously, you need to find all the latest and greatest security tools to keep the data safe. It's up to you. I'm not IT, or I would say the technology that side of the person. There are hundreds of different ways you can do that. Any other question, guys? Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for listening to me, gentlemen. All the very best in your future. I don't know which year you're in. Take care of your health. Be safe and do well in your life. Hope we will cross our line somewhere in the future.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Thank you so much, everyone. Of course, we would love to discuss this a lot more, and we would love to have one of your analysts soon when they get free. So that we
Probably
can
next time we will do that. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much again for coming.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Just like to for a second give a shout out to everyone who has joined in and the coming talks. We have some great talks lined up. Of course, Rakesh sir was here with us for a second. I don't know if he is. Yes, Rakesh sir is here. We will be having this talk tomorrow, CRM by Microsoft Dynamics. So Rakesh sir, we will looking forward to that tomorrow. So if you guys still haven't registered, register now. We're just sharing the link of the event right now. So you could register, you could call your friends. This is one of the just the starts of the Wisdom Week. We will be having 6 talks, 5 left. So yeah, everyone do join in and share it with your friends, share it to every group so that we could make this talk available to many people. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well so that if you could not join the meet, you could also watch the talk later and ponder upon things. So yes, thank you so much everyone. Follow our social medias as well. If someone could share the link of our Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn.